Greetings, beautiful people. Ernest here, like always. Today and in this video, I will take us through the story of a king in a certain land that never lived. The story of a king that never lived. In a certain land which was situated somewhere in the hills, there lived the people of that land, and for many years in that land, there were issues, series of issues that warrant series of struggles, series of fightings, series of arguments, and series of cases. And there rose a young man who stood and fought as leader of the group of the kingdom of the land, because he was so tactful in his thinking, because he was so naturally blessed, because some people have got some natural intelligence which is far more better in some cases. So this young man in that certain land came up with different ideas on how to free the kingdom. And at some point, the king's men in his kingdom began to see him as a threat. So there began to be divisions amongst the king's men and the people of the kingdom. The young man was so blessed by nature, and also culturally, you can say he is also blessed by the spirits of the land. You can say the gods of the land was also with him, that he is so sensitive to nature and the things around him that if there is to be any form of invasion in the land, he calls the people of the land, he tells them there is something coming up, and the way he says it, the way it happened. So, like every king in every land is sometimes being bettered from birth, sometimes being selected by the people, sometimes being culturally approved and appointed. But this young man was being given the accolade of the king of the community, of the king of that kingdom, even without a proper some sort of coronation, some sort of kingship. So the people of the community, mostly young ladies, as a young man, young ladies begin to call him our future king, our future king, our future king. And funny enough, this young man is not from a royal background. The community have, of course, an already existing royal head, some kind of a king, yeah. So, but it was being rumored that people are calling him our future king. He's not the son of the king present. He's not from the royal family. How come the people began to call him our future king, our future king? So this came as a result of his fighting powers. When there is issues in the community, he comes up, he has muscles, he's huge, like the Bible Goliath, you can say. So This young man was now begin to be seen as a threat by some people, begin to see him as a threat because some people began to call him future king or future leader and all that. So there began to be some sort of conspiracies, some sort of hatred from people, on the young man. So in on a fateful day, there was supposed to be a community gathering which will bring about discussions on issues of way forward of the community of that kingdom, in that kingdom. So this young man was sick. No matter how strong you are as a human, you also answer the calls of nature. So he was very sick, feverish, he couldn't stand up. Of course, as a young man, he's yet to be married in his prime, He's not married yet. So the mom tried all she could to revive and make him strong so as to attend the community gathering, which the community gathering will, at the end of the gathering, delegate the next set of people to move into the battlefield as usual. So hours gone past, the young man is nowhere to be found. People began to murmur, where is the future king? Mostly from young lads, ladies and gents, where is the warrior, our future king? So there became an uproar, and the king and his the flies in this part should allow me to do my video. So the king and his cabinet were like, "Is enough. Okay, go get the young man." The king sent in some people to go get the young man. So on getting there, the mom informed them that the young man has been sick. He couldn't wake up. So they said, okay, that the king wants to see him. They rushed him. They carried him to the palace of the king. So the able men carried the young man to the palace. Getting to the palace, the king saw him and was like, called his name. Jack, how are you? He managed to nod his head and said, I'm fine, my king. Then, before now, the young, strong man always have, of course, pleasantries, greetings with the king, So, but they have not really had some sort of man-to-man talk. So, somehow, he began to regain consciousness and strength in the palace of the king. So he began to respond to some questions from the king, like, how are you feeling? He began to respond. And the king was asking, do you know what today is? He was responding. He said, yes, they were supposed to be meeting and la la la. So at some point, he stood up. And the king, everybody was surprised. That same chant again came, oh, our warrior is high, back, is fine again, future king. And it was obvious. And the king was like, why are you people calling him our future king? They said, because a voice came from the crowd that because he's our warrior, he has helped the community to gut, fight, and win so many battles. He deserves an accolade. Then the king, hearing this himself from so many people from the crowd, said, okay, in that case, this young man has delivered a lot in this community, but tradition will always be tradition. What will happen is, seems he has daughters. his daughters are yet to be married, that he will choose from his daughters. One of his daughters, once he was able to lead this very battle again, which they believe will bring an end to the struggles the community has been going through. And there was joy. There was smile and laughter and jubilation. And the mom to this young man was so happy to hear this. Because of course you and I know that a man who marries the daughter of the king is more like a king. So in this battle, they were to move in the next Eke market day, which is in the next 4 days from the day of the meeting. So a lot of things were going underground. And they went for the battle, and he fought and fought and fought and fought, and they won the battle. But something tragic happened on their way return. That will be on the next episode, The King That Never Lived. Stay safe, stay tuned. Ernest, the storyteller, like always. Cheers.